So a few days ago, maybe a week, this appeared on Thingiverse. It says something new. This is cryptic, or perhaps it's not cryptic, because you can see a bit of it in the background there. And since it's appeared on Thingiverse, I think we can all guess what this means. Let's talk about it. So by the time this vid is released, you should hopefully be looking at this version of Thingiverse by default instead of this one. This represents, I think, the first actual UI overhaul on Thingiverse since I started 3D printing, so we should take a look at it and we should go into what's behind it. What I want to convey first was that I am told that this is kind of like an iceberg. Thingiverse has been around a long time, and as you might or might not know, it was originally made and owned by MakerBot, and for a while it even suffered a lot of pretty serious issues. This was towards the latter half of MakerBot's ownership. But since about a year-ish ago, when Ultimaker became Ultimaker, Thingiverse has been owned and maintained by the same development team as Cura, and they have been slowly fixing the codebase. The point of this overly verbose rant is that what you see here is enabled by a year of hard work fixing what you don't see underneath, and I understand that this will enable more and faster changes going forward. This is an ongoing thing. Process, of which this is the first part. By the way, if you are interested in that, a lot of people apparently miss that there is a changelog on Thingiverse at the bottom of the page. I thought that's worth mentioning. So the very first thing that hits you is the new typography of the site. On my browser it's showing as Noto Sans at weight 600, which I will say is a very striking buck against the current trend. If we look at printables, it uses Atlas Grotesque, which is a great name for a font. This is a much safer standard sans font choice for the current kind of styles we see on the internet. Some might call it boring. So it's interesting to see that bold of a move and that bold of a font. Weight 600, as I said. And differentiating from the style of other sites, it looks completely different. Yeah, we won't go into that. You can see that there's more emphasis on the social aspect of the site, with the likes and comments here on the full width page. It's on the right hand side, and I think it's just been moved around so the reply threads kind of flow a bit better. Optimizations to mobile have been pretty central to the changes too, apparently because a lot of you do access Thingiverse on mobile phones for some reason. I guess in reality this is probably coming from the social aspect. You're probably being linked to it from social media. I mean, half the internet's asking for STL files. So it has to work properly in terms of layout so that you can save your models into collections or whatever, so you can pick them up later from your computer and print them. So this has been made to work more smoothly, and I think you'll be also glad to know that I am told that the logging out problems have all been solved. You should no longer be randomly logged out of the site. I know I'm definitely a huge fan of that one. So, two more things I want to mention. One is old, but I never found a place to mention it in previous videos. The other is a new one. Firstly, if you've ever used the customizer, the Thingiverse customizer, you might have stopped using it some time ago because it was broken completely for a while. It's actually been working for around a year. It was one of the first things that got fixed. I even made my model here for a video on it, but somehow that video never got made, so this is kind of a speed run of that video. The Thingiverse customizer is criminally underused. OpenSCAD is amazing, and I would urge all of you to at least check it out. You don't have to use it to design your things, but I think it's cool enough to know how it works. As you see here, my IKEA table leg thingy, which is really good by the way, it saved my arms, is not that complicated geometrically to define in OpenSCAD, and Thingiverse customizer it's like OpenSCAD as a service. So if you're making models like this in OpenSCAD, you can upload them to Thingiverse as parametric models, and the user can then customize and download their own STL without having to use a CAD like Fusion 360 to change the parameters. Obviously, there is a time and a place for doing this, but I would like to see it used more on parametric stuff like cases, drawers, things like that. So I wanted to mention that that's working again, and it has been for some time, and it's free in case you wondered if you had to pay for it. No, it's completely free. You can use it both as a designer and a user, and you can search through all the customizer compatible designs as well. The second one, if you remember, I was talking about two things before I started waffling on. I've been given a heads up on a contest. As we all know, contests are hugely beneficial to sites that share models. So I'm really happy to see that Thingiverse has decided to run a design contest. And that is in partnership with Polymaker, and also Ultimaker are giving away an S3, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think I stand a chance of winning an S3 with my dumb models, but you do, and you absolutely should get on this right now, because, come on, how many people out there are flexing on social media with Ultimaker machines? Nearly nobody. Alright, so I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. I am really happy to see Ultimaker bringing Thingiverse back into the game. Things have changed a lot since I started 3D printing back in 2019, and obviously Thingiverse goes back much further than that. So, being the biggest site out there with just sheer numbers, they've got in excess of 2 million models, this is definitely good news. Comments below as always, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.